While hundreds of thousands of people who lost jobs during the pandemic are stuck in a backlog for unemployment benefits, and many think they were denied wrongly, you now have the DeSantis administration adding more layers of confusion, more red tape, and adding a deadline that many of you think you may not be able to meet because the online system is broken.
We really want to use the system to process as many payments as possible.
Here's Governor DeSantis telling people they should not have to keep logging back into the broken unemployment system to recertify their weeks in order to get paid.
And if you have 500,000 people going on just to do that, when we know they're probably still unemployed, it's probably better to waive that for the time being, further waive it.
But at the same time, here's the governor's administration saying just the opposite, telling people they have to keep logging back into the broken unemployment system to recertify their weeks in order to get benefits. The governor's administration added the requirement to recertify your weeks, while the governor said he waived the requirement to recertify your weeks.
We also extended the waiver for doing the 2-week recertification till the end of the month.
And while the governor said he waived the requirement to keep recertifying weeks through the end of May, his administration told us federal law requires the 2-week recertification starting May 10th. We asked the governor's administration how both of those statements can be true and what federal law they're even talking about, and how it would mandate claiming weeks for state benefits now but not last week or prior weeks when they were waived. We and state lawmakers also ask why people are still getting denied and flagged for not meeting work search requirements when the governor ordered those work search requirements to be suspended. And to help us understand how the governor waived all the work search requirements in March, and then his point man on unemployment told Spectrum 13 News in Orlando the work search requirements remained in place in late April, again as per some unspecified federal law.
That is not a requirement for state unemployment benefits. It remains a requirement for federal benefits, and we're working with the federal government to reduce that red tape.
We've been asking the governor's office to clarify how the governor can waive the work search requirements that his administration say remained per federal law since April 26th. A few days ago, an administration spokeswoman thanked us for all of our questions and said they'd respond as quickly as they can. But as many of you who lost jobs now unfortunately know, they do not move quickly. And responses, if you get them, will take you in circles.
I do have a baby on the way, expecting any day now. No income coming in at all.
Thomas Bellman is a father-to-be from Plant City.
I applied March 22nd, and I was denied April 27th with no reason given.
Which makes it impossible for Thomas and others to challenge those denials, which watchdogs say is by design.
Which is, I would submit why. They don't tell people why they're being denied.
All while the clock ticks down on their chances to even file an appeal.
When I did finally reach somebody on the phone, all they told me was they couldn't tell me why I was ineligible.
Which brings us to the dysfunctional call center, in which people wait for hours to get a big pile of nothing. Here's the guide the state has given to the call center reps. It shows them the errors and glitches the callers are seeing on their screens. And then it instructs the call center reps to not reference a glitch in the system when the caller is part of the glitch. And if the Connect system is down, as it often is, staff is directed to read a canned statement that does not acknowledge the system is down. And these texts released by a state lawmaker show what happens when frustrated callers ask to speak to a call center supervisor. In this one, the call rep tells the supervisor the system appeared to have mixed the caller's claim up with one from 8 years ago. The supervisor replies, "I am new and don't have access to Connect yet. I was not given credentials," then directs the caller to a number and extension, to which the rep replies, "That is the exact number they called, and they got me." And then the rep reaches out to another supervisor, to which this supervisor replies, "I don't have access to the DEO portal, unfortunately, right now. I am waiting for the new credentials." The runaround advances to a third supervisor. The rep asks for help. Third supervisor replies, "No, love. I'm sorry. I'm starting today. Frowny face. What you need?"
We need some better answers and a better flow. This is horrible.
Serena James is a furloughed Disney worker, and Disney sent its workers information for unemployment claims directly to the state, and yet many still got denied. And now Disney workers are telling us their information disappeared somehow in the state's glitchy system. And they're just getting the same old runaround when they call the call center for help.
I have a ton of cast members who all of a sudden did not even have an application.
That fits a pattern. A lot of you are telling us you're sending them everything they need, and then you get rejected for leaving stuff out. Well, a source in state government who transfers the claims data shared screen grabs of what our source says is information vanishing before our source's eyes. And then the processors see the missing chunks and kick back the claims. And watchdogs say it once again may be designed that way to work against you until you get frustrated and quit and leave the money behind.
The programming is based on an underlying political structure that revolves around denying benefits anytime it is remotely possible.
And the longer your benefits are pending, the more they can run out the clock.
I literally pull my hair out after dealing with it every day.
On that point, a source in state government showed us how paper applications for unemployment benefits sit for a month before they get entered into the system, and then sit for another month after they've been entered before they get processed. And when state workers got applications in a foreign language they couldn't read, this document shows they were instructed not to enter anything, but mark it as complete, effectively disregarding it, until the state told them to stop doing that after they'd been doing it that way for weeks. And this one shows how the data entry fields keep changing on the state workers who have to enter and transfer the data in ways that don't match the forms, increasing the potential for error. On top of the people who say they enter all the information correctly, but then they say it vanishes before their eyes.
They're doing this on purpose so we could get frustrated.
Governor DeSantis did say this system, ordered by former Governor Rick Scott, is designed to fail.
It was designed with all these different things to basically fail, I think.
If he's right about that, it's not really broken. It's working as intended, while far too many people who lost their jobs during the pandemic are now paying for it.